Geek rock musician Mikey Mason joins me to talk about writing songs on schedule, his new Music Monday ritual, and how to stay creative every single week. Music from Caliceltic, May Will Bloom, the Gothard Sisters, and Mikey Mason. This is Pub Songs and Stories number 311.
Beer will grow a belly right around your middle.
That's true.
It'll shake around like jelly when you hear the fiddle. So lift your glasses high and don't forget to shout. Here's a cheer to drinking beer, especially the stout. Well, I had a lovely porter at a pub the other day. The black stuff makes me chatty. I met everyone in the place. And the bartender said, "You've had enough and you should go and have a nap." I said, "I'll have a Guinness," and I gave his face a slap. Well, I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. A volley pint to be just great. Hurry now, don't make me wait. I want the beer from St. James Gate. So I went into the new sports bar and I ordered me a stout. The man didn't even look at me. When he told me to get out, he said, "We got Coors, we got Bud Light, but we don't serve that crap." I said, "I'll have a Guinness," and I gave his face a slap. Well, I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. A volley pint to be just great. Hurry now, don't make me wait. I want the beer from St. James Gate. I went around the corner to another pub. I ordered me a glass. Your bartender shook his head at me and he said,
"You're quite an ass. Look, you gotta tell me what you want. We've got over 50 beers on tap."
I said, "I'll have a Guinness," and I gave his face a slap. But I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. A volley pint to be just great. Hurry now, don't make me wait. I want the beer from St. James Gate. Well, then I fell into a micropub. I poured myself into a chair, and the list was chalk. I had to gawk fermented mulch with avocado hair. And the server wore a waistcoat and a man bun in a strap. I said, "I'll have a Guinness," and I gave his face a slap. Well, I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. A volley pint to be just great. Hurry now, don't make me wait. I want the beer from St. James Gate. Well, then I found a pirate bar. The smell of coffee everywhere, and they had a mermaid logo with long green wavy hair, and this fella in a green apron goes, "Espresso or a frap?" I said, "I'll have a Guinness," and I gave his face a slap. Well, I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. A volley pint to be just great. Hurry now, don't make me wait. I want the beer from St. James Gate. I know pubs can look the same, but this one looked familiar. Everybody knew my name. And the bartender said, "Not you again. Did you go and have that nap?" I said, "I'll have a Guinness," and fell face first on the mat. I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. A volley pint to be just great. Hurry now, don't make me wait. I want the beer from St. James Gate. Finally came to, it was a crazy scene. I saw the man bun there with a red-haired cop, and the barista pointed right at me and he said, "That's the man there, officer. He's all over the map." The red-haired cop handed me a Guinness and they all began to clap. I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. A frothy pint to be just great. Hurry now, don't make me wait. I want the beer from St. James Gate. I don't mean to seem irate. I want the beer from St. James Gate. Jail time would not be great. great. We want the beer from St. James Gate. Our frothy pints are tasting great. We want the beer from St. James Gate. Officer Paddy and I can drink our weight in pints of beer from St. James Gate. We want the beer from St. James Gate. We want the beer from St. James Gate. We want the beer from St. James Gate.
Welcome to Pub Songs and Stories. Every song has a story. Every episode is a toast to Celtic and folk songwriters. Discover the stories behind the songs from the heart of the Celtic pub scene. I am Marc Gunn, your bard and host also of the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. Today, we're diving into the creative mind of comedy rock songwriter Mikey Mason. If you've ever struggled to finish a song or waited for inspiration to strike, this conversation will change how you think about writing. Mikey writes and releases a brand new song every Monday, and he does it without relying on his muse. We'll talk about manufacturing inspiration, unusual writing prompts, and turning routine into creative freedom. But first, let me tell you that we kicked off the show with Caliceltic. That was the beer of St. James Gate from 23andMe. I got to meet Sean of Caliceltic just this past week, and it was so great hanging out with him. We went to an Irish pub, Thomas O'Reilly's Irish pub up in what is that town? That was up in Sandy Springs. There's an Irish session that happens every Tuesday, and this is one of the more open Irish sessions. They've been asking me to come out and join them for a long time, and I've gone once and I had a great time, and they asked me again, and so I made it out. But I also got to sit around and chat with Sean, and I'm hoping to do an interview with him in the future. I probably should have done it there, except it was very noisy and we were just relaxing and having fun, so it was a lot better way of doing it. But hopefully I'll get an interview with him in the new year that I can share with you, so stay tuned for that. Upcoming shows, November 22nd is the Georgia Renaissance Festival Fall Fling. December 6th, Georgia Renaissance Festival Fall Fling. And December 7th, Nerdy Wonderland at the Lost Druid in Avondale States, Georgia. That's all I have planned for the rest of the year. And then I'm going to be starting up with, I'm planning on going to Gefilte here in Atlanta, though I'm not a performer, other than in the Filk circles, so stay tuned for that. So if you want to come out and hang out with me at Gefilte, I'll be there. I'll also have merch while I'm out there. If you're new to the show, please follow us. You can do that at pubsong.com. And I have a new band with my daughter, Inara. Now, technically it's not new. We've been playing together for a long time, but we finally came up with a name in the last couple weeks, which is May Will Bloom. And we debuted the new band name at Irish Fest Atlanta. We even released a new single. It is still somewhat of a rough mix. I want to add instrumentation to it. But I love how it came out, and I want to share it with you. I'm so excited to share this. The really funny story first. So I was hoping to release an album pen in time for Irish Fest. And in fact, we did release an album pen in time for Irish Fest. You can get that in my store. But I also wanted some music to go with it. So I made a recording of us performing last year at Irish Fest. And I went and found the best 4 tracks from that recording. And I posted them on Patreon. Now, I knew the recording wasn't perfect. There's definitely, my daughter had a lot of room to grow. And it turns out she grew a lot because Friday, right before we headed off to Irish Fest to go open the door for 3, I played this live recording from a year ago. And Inara listened to it, and I think she didn't say so, but I think she was shocked at just how much she has grown. She did not like the recording, I'll be honest. I probably should delete it, but she did not like the recording. And so she said to me, can we go ahead and record like you were wanting to do? So I had laid down 3 auto harp tracks already with the intent of having her record on it. And this was like the month before. And I said, sure. So we sat down and we recorded her singing Star of the County Down. And we both were thrilled with the results. She has come so far in the past year. I can't wait to see how she comes in the years to come. So here is May Will Bloom with Star of the County Down.
Need a band bridge down in the county down one morning last July. Down up a green games we got lean and she smiled as she passed me by. Well, she looked As she onward sped, sure I shook my head and I looked with a feeling prayer. Then I said that to a passerby who's a maid with the nut brown hair. Well, he smiled at me and with pride says he, that's a gem of old Ireland's crown. She's young, Rosie McCann, from the ranks of the band. She's the star of the county down. From Bank Street Bay up to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. Well, I've traveled a bit, but ne'er was hit since my roving career began. Then Fairgreen Square, I surrendered there to the charms of young Rosie McCann. I'd a heart to lend and no Jenny yet did I sing shawl or gown. But in she went and I asked no rent from the star of the county down. Bank Street Bay up to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. At the harvest fair, I'll be surely there, and I'll dress in my Sunday clothes, with my shoes shone bright and my hat cocked right for a smile from another brown rose. No pipe I'll smoke and no horse I'll yoke, though with rust my plow turns brown till a smiling bride by my own fireside sits the star of the county down. From Bank Street Bay up to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down. From Bank Street Bay up to Derry Quay, from Galway to Dublin town. No maid I've seen like the sweet Colleen that I met at the county down.
Some news, a bunch of fun stuff to share with you. First off, mark your calendar for December 5th. That's the next Bandcamp Friday. It's also the official release of another Fair to Remember by the Brobdingnagian Bards. Now, if you've loved our Renaissance Festival classic, Fair to Remember, you'll definitely love this one as well because it was made with you in mind. You can follow our Patreon to be the first to hear of the release and read some stories from Renaissance festivals past. That's at patreon.com/bards. And in January, it will go for universal release. That's when it's scheduled to be released all over the streaming sites and wherever. So you can find all of that very soon, coming in the new year. So stay tuned for that. Christmas music is in the air. In fact, Celtic Christmas Music is a podcast where you can enjoy Christmas music by Celtic musicians. There are over 80 episodes, including some of my music. You can find a link to the podcast in the show notes. And if you are looking for the perfect stocking stuffer, give a gift that's green and a little bit magical. At magerecords.com, you'll find eco-friendly Irish and Celtic treasures made to delight the music lovers, the festival wanderers, and the folklore fans in your life. Wood-burned album pins, and for a limited time, Celtic Christmas ornaments. Small enough to slip into a stocking and meaningful enough to make someone smile long after the holidays. So this year, skip the plastic, go Celtic, go sustainable. Visit magerecords.com and fill those stockings with something worth keeping. And of course, if you're not familiar with the album pins, those are lapel pins. My newest one, I should say, are all wood burned, and each one is themed to a particular album. You get a digital download of the album, and then you can wear your album. Same with the Celtic Christmas ornaments. that I am releasing as well. You're going to get my Celtic Christmas Greetings album, and you can hang the ornament on your Christmas tree. So I hope you will, and check those out. Again, magerecords.com. Please leave a comment on the podcast show notes at pubsong.com or wherever you listen. Email pictures of what you're listening to follow at celtfather.net. I'll send you a free gift, and you can learn more about how to follow this podcast. I did an interview with the Gothard sisters, which I am super excited to be sharing with you. That's not coming up right now. You're going to, if you actually did several, I did several interviews this past couple of weeks, and one of them was with the Gothard sisters. They have a brand new album out. It's called Moment in Time. I'll have a story that will be shared on this podcast next time, but the interview will be over on the Irish and Celtic Music Podcast. So make sure you subscribe to that as well. That's at CelticMusicPodcast.com. In the meantime, I want to share some of the music from their new album. This is Moment in Time, and they talk about it in the interview, so check it out. Here is the Gothard sisters.
I'm never far from the edge of another future, another knowing, another me, in the greatest unknown, but I've been here before. It's a moment in time. It's ancient and timeless, through mountains and through valleys, the voice is calling for you on and on. It's a moment in time. It's a moment in time. It's a moment in time. It's a moment in time.
Today's show is brought to you by Celtic Invasion Vacations. Every year I take a small group of people on a relaxing adventure to one of the Celtic nations. We don't see everything. Instead, we stay in one area. We get to know the region through its culture, history, and legends. You can join me with an auditory and visual adventure through podcasts, blogs, videos, and photos. Sign up to the Celtic Invasion Vacations mailing list at CelticInvasion.com. And now it's time for the quest and course of how to write songs on a schedule and still stay inspired. Quest and course, where every place has a story, Every story has a song, and every song is a step in the quest. Mikey Mason is a U.S.-based geek rock musician. He blends his stand-up comedy background with music rooted in sci-fi, fantasy, board games, cats, role-playing. He spent more than a decade as a full-time stand-up comedian performing across the U.S. In 2011, his song She Don't Like Firefly went viral on YouTube and earned attention from outlets like Nerdist, Sci-Fi, MTV Geek News, Dr. Demento, and Time Magazine. In fact, I have an interview that I did with him in 2018, and we talk about that song. But since then, Mikey has released numerous albums and EPs, and now primarily works as a musician and artist whose work draws heavily on his lifelong love of geek culture. But before I start sharing the interview, this is also a quest and chorus, again, where every place is a story, every story is a song, and every song is a step in the quest. That means you need a secret word to unlock a secret treasure chest of bonus content. This time, from Mikey Mason. So listen up so you can unlock the quest. And the question is, how many songs does Mikey Mason average in a year with his new Music Monday releases? You'll find a link in the show notes to unlock that quest. And now, without further ado, here is my interview with Mikey Mason. All right, today I am really excited to talk with Mikey Mason. I know I've talked with you in the past, Mikey.
Yeah.
But,
we have a podcast.
We do. Well, we have a podcast, but I didn't interview. Did I do an interview with you for the Folk Songs and Stories podcast a few years back, or did I just have you tell a story? I don't remember now.
Maybe. I don't. I've slept since then.
We've had a lot of interactions on podcasts, whether it's In the Verse or one of the other ones. But today I wanted to specifically talk to you about your Music Monday and your writing practice. Let's start by letting people know what your Music Monday project is.
Okay. So a little bit of backstory. I was a stand-up comic, professional stand-up comic, until 2019. In 2019, I retired from stand-up comedy in December of 2019. And I had made the decision that I was going to retire because in 2017, I realized that I just didn't need to be booked for stand-up gigs anymore for money, that all of my money, most of my money was coming from appearances at conventions and geek shows and stuff like that. And so I made the decision to retire from stand-up comedy because I was tired of babysitting drunks. And my thought was, I'll step up my Patreon, and then if there's any shortfall, my Patreon will cover it, right? And so I transitioned at that point in September of 2019 from being a per post Patreon, so per song that I post Patreon, to being a monthly Patreon, where people would get certain stuff a month. And what I decided to do was a thing called New Music Monday. So from the middle to end of September of 2019 until today, I've been doing a thing called New Music Monday, which is every Monday I put out a new song or a cover of a song or a parody of a song, or very occasionally it's a live version of a song, but that's only very occasionally. And I tend to average 67 new songs a year. And that's not 67 covers or 67. It's 67 new songs per year because I write a lot.
Yeah.
And there are things that I do that get me to that level of I guess prolificity, productivity. But that's when it started. And of course, that was September of 2019. I retired from stand-up comedy in December of 2019. In March of 2020, COVID hit and we were all put on lockdown, and my income completely stopped outside of Patreon and online shows.
Yeah. Oy.
But it was sheer. Maybe it's my fault. Maybe COVID happened because it gave me an excuse to keep writing a song a month. I don't know.
Well, what I found fascinating, and you've talked about this in your shows, is that usually on panels that I'm on, and you're talking about your New Music Monday adventure here, and you've constantly repeatedly said that you do this each and every week, and it's not just as you say. I'm a professional, and so my job is to write a new song each and every week, and so you write a new song each and every week. And I'll be honest, I can occasionally write on command. We have a podcast all about that. But I feel inadequate when it comes to writing songs on command. And I know that I've, tried to be on a regular basis to create new music. And I started playing music because I wanted to be a songwriter like Elvis Presley. Turns out I am just like Elvis Presley writing songs. He didn't write any. No. But
he got his name on a lot of songs though, didn't he?
But he got his name. No, but I've basically learned, I wanted to become a songwriter. And so the main reason I wanted to talk to you is because I want to dig your brain and find out how you find your inspiration, and that was one, we talked about this at our AI panel at DragonCon this year, but how you get your inspiration, how you schedule your week, and how things go. So why don't we start by you write a new song each and every week. How does that all come about? What do you do? When do you plan and schedule your time to write songs?
Put everything off until the last minute. Monday morning, I write. Monday morning, I sit down and come up with a melody, and it's not always that. It has happened that way, but it's not always that way. But there have been quite a few Monday mornings where I had a song that was due, and so I wrote and recorded a song on Monday.
But that's not your regular practice, is it?
It's sadly it's becoming more regular.
I know,
but also I'm practiced enough that I don't have to spend as much time generatively writing. What I can do is spin it editing. So when I'm writing stuff, that's the creation phase. That's the generation phase, right? And then you have that edit phase, and you have two phases of your brain, right? And my degree is in creative writing. And what they always tell us as writers is write your first draft. Write your first draft. Just vomit words on the page. Don't edit them. Don't go back. Don't change the sentence. Just keep puking words onto the page because you can't edit what's not there. And writing is rewriting. Ray Bradbury famously said that he never wrote a second draft in his life. Now, as much as I love Ray Bradbury's work and revere him as an author, I'm tempted to just flat out call him a liar. But I won't do it. He's dead. He's dead. So I'm respecting what he said. And of course, I'll maintain the legacy of what he said. He never wrote a second draft in his life. I don't know who he paid to write his second drafts. But brilliant work. Love Ray Bradbury. I take a lot of inspiration from Ray Bradbury in that respect. He's the one. I have a song called "Build My Wings," which is "Build Your Wings on the Way Down." And someone had asked him how to be an artist, how to be a writer. He said, "Go to the edge of a cliff and jump off, and build your wings on the way down."
Yeah.
Because necessity is what makes you create.
Yeah, see, that's where most of my writing has come from. It's come from necessity. But it's like, okay, I need a song for my Hobbit drinking songs. It's going to be, I want it to be like Old Dun Cow because it's a popular song that I have. Let's write mushrooms. And lo and behold, I have a new song.
Yes. You gave yourself a homework assignment, and that is one brilliant way to manufacture inspiration.
Right.
When you're in school, that's what they do is they give you an assignment. That's all they do is they give you an assignment and you write to the assignment. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't want to, impinge on my creativity. Creativity is what you do when you are given barriers to create against. Okay. When they say, all right, here are the limitations, be as awesome as you can within these limitations. That's when the fire of someone's genius really shines, right? If they say, write a story where there is only one character, but there is conflict, wow. Okay. Now you're like, okay, write a story from the point of view of an unreliable narrator. Okay. Did I say what the story had to be? What genre, whatever? No, I didn't. But that's, here is your guide, right? And you want a song that sounds like Old Dun Cow that has that vibe, but is about something that hobbits care about. So it'd be a hobbits drinking song. You're like, well, okay, mushrooms, right? And you gave yourself the assignment and then you wrote to the assignment. You manufactured your inspiration. My writing professor that did the most for me from a creative standpoint, I don't think I recognized it while I was there, was Tom Thornburg, a poet named Tom Thornburg. And you can find his books out there. You can find his poetry out there. But he wrote on one of my papers that one of my poems that what I had were dangerous gifts. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he talked in class about the dangers of inspiration. When you're beholden to being inspired, you are held hostage by your muse, right?
Yeah.
You're held hostage by inspiration. You can't create if you're not inspired, right? But when you are disciplined, you get to write even when you're not inspired. And it's that discipline that will get you through. And the moments of inspiration, true inspiration, will happen because they're going to happen. And when you combine that with the discipline, that's where things get next level. That's where things get amazing. And you can train yourself to write when you're not inspired. You have to manufacture your own inspiration. There are ways to do it, whatever. You have to fake it. Give yourself assignments, whatever. And it is in those moments that you will find other inspirations come. And then you get to stack the inspiration with the perspiration, and things go to the next level. And it does involve setting routine.
So how do you set that routine? How do you set your manufacture your inspiration?
I do write a lot on Mondays. Even if I've already put out a song on the Monday, I write a lot on Mondays.
What, just writing in general, or do you writing songs, writing lyrics?
I jot down ideas constantly in my phone, in the notepad. I mean, everything around you has the potential to become something else artistic. And, you may not grok what it is now. You may be sitting at a restaurant and overhearing a conversation 2 booths over, and it's extremely interesting or tragically interesting or whatever, just compelling to listen to. And you start taking notes on that, and then it becomes a story or a song or a painting or a drawing. And you don't ever really quite know. But take notes on everything around you in life. I am very compartmentalized anymore. I do most of my songwriting on the weekend or on Mondays. Okay. Tuesdays is for role-playing game writing, generally. Uh-huh. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I'm writing trivia. I run trivia 2 nights a week. Mm-hmm. Each week, I write 83 questions. And I write all the questions, so I have to research that, write it, organize it. So that's Wednesdays and Thursdays. And Fridays are ostensibly off, but I'm usually doing other stuff and or writing, although not so much a routine at that point. But I'm always working. I'm always working on something. When you're your own boss, I have to put up the website. I'm working on an album. I'm working on recording. I'm working on revising. And a lot of my writing is revising. Right now I'm getting ready. I put out an album in March, Mimic. Yeah. I put out an album a couple weeks ago, Off-Brand. Mm-hmm. I have another album that I'm going to try and get out by October, early October, called The Passage, which is a month away. And then there's an ostensible, vague, ephemeral, yet another album that I'm considering for December, January.
Which, of course, you have plenty of material for because you're writing.
I write a song a week. Which is its own curse. Because I have songs that the last album was called Off-Brand because they're all funny songs, which funny fits the Mikey Mason brand, but they never fit the vibe of an album that I released. And so they were all kind of off-brand for me. So the name was an in-joke for me, but that's why they were off-brand. And so now I'm putting out all the off-brand stuff. I'm tired of sitting on the material that I think is worth using. You say you want to write a song a week, and I believe you, and you say you can't write a song a week, and I don't believe you. I think that you can't yet write a song a week that you want everybody to hear. Yeah.
Well, that does raise a different question because, so I finished a song yesterday. I posted it to my Patreon, which
The Worst Wolverine.
Yes. And I posted to Patreon, and I was, looking for trying to get, one of the reasons I post things on Patreon is because I want, a little bit of feedback if I can get it. Rarely get any, but then that's okay, because the other reason is for me to sit with it and decide if this is something I want to do something with. It's like I like the song well enough. I think it's fun. It has, I don't know about fun. It's a dark song. It is. But what I like about it, I like the storyline that goes with it. I love the chorus. I love my the alliteration in the chorus. But I also know that the chorus is not a catchy chorus. It's not a good drinking song chorus. I'll be honest. But then again, it strikes me as like, is this a song that I'm going to sing? Yes, it fits well at sci-fi conventions, but is it a song that I've written and I'm going to, I'm glad I wrote the song and happy that I put one out this week, not saying I'm planning on doing a New Music Monday, just trying to do once a month is what I'm aiming for. I'm not going to be so aggressive to do once a week unless I can change my entire schedule. But what am I going to do with this song? And, offhand, I'm like, I don't know if I will do anything with this song. Not unless someone says, hey, that is an amazing song and you should do something with it. In which case I might start considering it, either rewriting it or whatnot. But, and that's the same thing I'm sure you go with yourself, because you have all these songs each and every week you write. Do you love all your songs? Do you feel it's necessary to put them on albums? How often do you do that? Okay.
There are songs that are on my Patreon that's the only existence they're ever going to get. And I'm glad they got that. If people want to hear them, they can, sign up at whatever level to get access to them, but they'll never see anything other than that. I never played them outside of recording them. Yeah. And then there are songs that I write and I put up on my Patreon, and I do the monthly online shows. And I tell people if they want me to do something that I recently released on Patreon, they need to let me know in advance so I can make sure that I've transcribed it into a form where I can play it live. Because a lot of times I'm cobbling stuff together. And so I have the lyrics in one place and some of the chords are in another place and some of the chords are in another place. And then I got to figure it out and put it all together so I can do it and understand and have a cohesive, this is how it goes. Cause I'm not patching stuff together in Logic Pro and saying, okay, here's this chorus, here are these batch of chords, they go here. But it's one of those things. There are definitely songs, and let me see if I can find a list. Well, I don't know if I can find a list or not, but I keep a list of New Music Monday songs, and I need to update it because it's not current. The most recent update was July 4th. I wrote a song on the 23rd of June called Diet Coke, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was I started with the lyrics on the back, or with the ingredient list on a Diet Coke bottle. Carbonated water, caramel color, aspartame, phosphoric acid, potassium sulfate. Literally those are the lyrics. And I'm trying to read them with my bifocals. Right. Before that, June 16th is a song called 33 1/3, which is about revolutions on a record player, because for Father's Day, Jody got me a record player and I was, really into it. Back in April, there's a song called Waiting for the Chance to Say Goodbye, which was inspired by people who always seem to be ready to end things. Yeah. Well, yeah. In May, I wrote a song called My Keys Are Gone. Guess what that's about? May 12th, there's a song called Only the Ringing in My Ears. And I wrote it about my dad. It's kind of like figuring out what it's like getting old and losing your memory. Cause my dad's not having I've written some, politically themed songs, Long Night, Burn It All Down. in May, I'd asked Jody, cause I said, I have to have a song for New Music Monday. What should I write? And I said it over the weekend. She goes, write from your life, which is everybody says write from your life, right? So I wrote a song about us. I wrote a song about me and Jody, and it's called Kinda Like, and it's 90s pop country. And it's literally just hallmarks of our relationship put into a song.
Yeah. So you're not coming up with writing prompts per se. But you are coming up with ideas that you either maybe someone else gives you a prompt, but you basically you have a list of ideas and you just start going through. And how does that work?
Well, all right. So it is. I do have to give myself the hardest part of it is deciding what to write.
Yeah.
Once you've decided what to write, the writing of it is not nearly as hard.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Giving yourself the assignment. So if you look at Ghosts of My Past, the Worst Wolverine that you just wrote, right?
Yeah.
And you say, I'm going to write a song a week or a song a day. I'm going to write a song a day for the next month. I won't show anybody. I'm going to put these away in a box for me. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
And I can give you your assignment right now, Mark, and it will feed you for a month. You could write a song a day for a month. All right. Superhero drinking songs. Yeah. Done. Now you have an album.
Yeah.
You have an album. You've got one. You suddenly have an album.
Yeah.
Drinking songs can be parodies or they can be originals that sound similar because most drinking songs sound similar to other drinking songs.
Yes.
But literally, I will guarantee you, if I give you that prompt, and I just did, and you decided I want a superhero drinking song album, you can write that album in the next month. Done.
Yeah.
Just done. Because if you wrote a song a day for the next month and you only took 10 or 12 of them and put them on an album, because that's technically an album, right? That's an album. Yeah. Now you've got an album of superhero drinking songs, and you got the others as, bonus tracks or nobody ever gets to see this stuff. And it's really, it's that simple. When, the song title, Only the Ringing in My Ears, I have tinnitus. Yeah. And I had, at one point, I tried to match the pitch. I
got a G myself.
Yeah, I wanted to write it. But the problem is I have two pitches, one in my left ear, one in my right ear. And one is about a third. They're in harmony. It's crazy. One is about a third higher.
I always wanted to try to tune my instrument with using my ear.
Yeah. And my right ear is higher pitched to my left. My left is lower, but they're still both pretty. It's high pitched ringing in my ear. And as soon as I said that, it shifts. Now that the low and high shifted, it's weird. But so you write your own assignment. You pick something. During February album writing month, I love February album writing month, and also I don't want to say I hate it, but I know that every year that I'm probably going to fail to get the goal. I like having the goal, whether I get it or not, and I like having the prompts because it surrounds you with a community, and there is nothing better for you creatively than being part of a community. Yeah. And you kind of have to fake that too. My most recent New Music Monday, People Like Us Need Umbrellas. I wrote a poem in college called People Like Us Need Umbrellas, and it's put on McKinley Avenue and in the town I live in Muncie, Indiana, which is also where I went to college. And, but those are the only two things I took from that poem. The title, People Like Us Need Umbrellas, and McKinley Avenue. And everything else, I've been listening to a lot of Beatles lately, specifically the Magical Mystery Tour. Yeah. And I wrote a friggin' Beatles song. I tried to write a Penny Lane type song, but I was like, I don't want to write Penny Lane. They wrote Penny Lane. But I don't have a Penny Lane. I have McKinley Avenue. And that brought to mind People Like Us Need Umbrellas. And I was like, I'm going to write a song called People Like Us Need Umbrellas. It's going to start on McKinley Avenue. And then I just kind of went with that free form stream of consciousness. It doesn't have to make complete sense as long as it rhymes and creates a vibe feeling of the Beatles, which is hard for me because I want my songs to mean something, you know? And it does. It ended up meaning something. Maybe not exactly, maybe not as succinctly, maybe it just creates a vibe or a feeling. And that's cool too. But it's all about assigning yourself homework, setting the boundaries on yourself to create within. Because when, Jody said, write from your life, write something. And then I gave myself the assignment. I'm going to show her, I'm going to write a song about us, you know? And then, so I did, I wrote a song about us and, you know, she laughed and loved it. And of course, it's 90s pop country. When's that going to end up on one of my albums?
Right.
December. No, I don't know. But you know, one of my patrons from Canada loves it and actually requested it at Gen Con and requested it at an online show. But I was like, all right, I don't normally play requests, but who's got a song that they're of mine that they're pretty sure I'm not going to play, but that they want to hear? And Tracy said, play Kind of Like. And I was like, okay. I'm going to play 90s pop country, Mikey, right here in the bowels of Union Station. So,
yeah.
All right, let's pause the show because I want to hear that song. You got to hear it too. This is awesome. Here's Kinda Like by Mikey Mason.
Kinda like that moment when you had your first taste of candy. The way your tongue was never gonna be the same. Kinda like a first kiss just there when no one else could see. Fireworks exploding in your brain. Kinda like the world's largest snowball fight on a snow-lit 90s night. One perfect moment that feels so right. Kinda like trusting that feeling no one else can sense. Learning how to love a little too intense. And every game changer that's a little bit dangerous. Kinda like listening to music at 17. Feeling like you're living in a dream. Kinda like you, kinda like me, kinda like us. Kinda like staying up too late for one more chapter. Or maybe one more episode. Kinda like last minute drive just for some ice cream. In whether no one else would go. Kinda like fast forwards, county lines, flashbacks and hobo signs. Learning how to live outside the lines. Kinda like trusting that feeling no one else can sense. Learning how to love a little too intense. And every game changer that's a little bit dangerous. Kinda like listening to music at 17. Feeling like you're living in a dream. Kinda like you, kinda like me. Kinda like taking a long way just to see the country. Taking time to stop and read the plaques. Making our own way, shoulder to shoulder, knowing that there's no turning back. Kinda like trusting that feeling no one else can sense. Learning how to love a little too intense. And every game changer that's a little bit dangerous. Kinda like listening to music at 17. Feeling like you're living in a dream. Kinda like you, kinda like me. Kinda like trusting that feeling no one else can sense. Learning how to love a little too intense. And every game changer that's a little bit dangerous. Kinda like listening to music at 17. Feeling like you're living in a dream. Kinda like you, kinda like me. Kinda like us. Kinda like you, kinda like me. Kinda like us. Kinda like you, kinda like me. Kinda like us.
All right, let's get back to that interview.
But it's, I mean, Best Game Ever was written as a reaction to someone else's song. Man, I'm blanking on her name. She wrote this really sweet song about playing Dungeons and Dragons with her friends. And I wrote it as a response to that song. And, you know, a not so sweet response to that song because hers was very sweet and very wistful and very charming and mine wasn't. And, you know, it's, you know, the more you constrain yourself, and you don't have to give yourself a lot of constraints, but give yourself a constraint or two, right?
Yeah.
I want to write a song in this style, or I want to write a song that, you know, find a random word generator and have it generate 3 random words.
Yeah.
or generate 3 words randomly, however you can. Ask 3 people in your life, give me a noun, a verb, and an adjective, and then pick a different noun, verb, and adjective from each of the groups, and try and write a song with those things in it. Why would you write a song with hippo? Because somebody said hippo, and now you got to write a song with hippo. You would never write a song with hippo, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's A, trying something new, which is invaluable, and B, adding a constraint. You don't know what that's going to do for you creatively, because your instincts and everything you want to do is to create something good, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to make something good, something worthwhile, so you're going to try as hard as you can. But, also it's the word hippo, right? So you're going to let yourself maybe be sillier than you would as well. You want it to be good, but now it's going to be about a hippo, so it's probably not going to be the most serious song or whatever.
Unless you want to write a serious song about a hippo.
Yes, the hippo's lament, or, why does the hippo cry? Or, why is hippo crying?
So, okay. So you've got a good practice. I'm now want to take this to the next step. So you do the New Music Monday each and every week, and it's not just songwriting. It's also basically recording and releasing it. So I would assume, just want to check with this, but I would assume you have basically your studio setup is ready to go. So there's basically no inhibition when it comes to when you get started.
Right. And that is true, although I do need to clean it. I found, because I went through this period where I decluttered my studio, and I need to do it again, because having stuff in the way clutters everything up.
Yeah.
Mentally for me. And that may not be the case for everyone else, but I'll tell you, it helped so much. Yeah. I like being in hotel rooms for that reason. I'm one of the weirdos. I make my bed in a hotel room.
Yeah.
Cause I like that, the delineation. I like the clean corners, I like the empty space, but it's ready to go. And I have lots of tools at my disposal as well. I don't have to play the drums. I have Easy Drummer. And on top of that, I have Band in a Box. On top of that, I have, I'm getting Easy Bass, but I also have other, MIDI programs, right? And MIDI samples. And so I can, and a MIDI keyboard upstairs that I can use. And I have bass guitars and mandolins and ukuleles here, but I don't have to use them if I don't want to.
Yeah.
I can search for hours for the right keyboard synth tone, or I can say, I'm going to drop a loop in that, because I will use ethically sourced loops. I will use ethically sourced generative AI, although it's not really generative if I'm telling it exactly what to play. Right. It's not really technically AI, although it's algorithm based. It's not artificial intelligence. It's a program that the artist got paid for and got credited for, and they have I don't have to credit it on my commercial licenses either. Right. So you do these things. Easy Drummer, which has been on a lot of albums. So if you want John Mellencamp's drummer to be on your album, you can buy the Americana pack of Easy Drummer or whatever. And now, the sounds are from his drum kit. The styles are from his drum kit. You can plug and play, mix and match. You can edit it. You can say, I don't want him playing that. I want him to play this. And you can move the notes around in MIDI, or move the beats around in MIDI and get it to where you want it and have it exactly what you want. And that's what I do.
Okay. So,
but the recording is its own thing. So, and granted, it has become a part of my songwriting process, because now when I'm writing songs, a lot of the times I'm writing and recording at the same time.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Which is, a lot. Sometimes it's what the Beatles did. A lot of artists can't do that. Lynyrd Skynyrd went into the studio to record pronounced Lynyrd Skynyrd, their first album, and they didn't know that they were going to get a bunch of takes. So they had rehearsed so much that they played Freebird 3 times in a row, and it sounded and they recorded it live 3 times in a row, and it sounded almost exactly the same. Mm-hmm. They blew the engineer's mind, because he was like, well, you might want to try a different take. And they're like, why? This is the one we like,
Right.
And with my laptop computer, and I'm not even talking my desktops, with my laptop computer, I get to record in a better caliber studio than Elvis Presley ever got to record in his life.
Yeah. Well, that's always been my one thing with, as I've thought about, just recording music in general. The reason I usually record live is that I'm like, well, the Beatles did everything on a 4-track, there's lots of balancing. They had a brilliant engineer, but they did it on a 4-track.
And it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it doesn't require much to accomplish a whole lot. All right. Well, let's do one. I'm going to ask one final question for you, Mikey, which is, I want to know, okay, so not necessarily me, but any musician, they're getting ready to consider the idea of even just doing, a song, let's say a song a week. What would be your, top 3 suggestions in order to, make it happen?
All right. Get involved in a community. Now, my Patreon is my community, but there are songwriting communities, and you can find them online or create them online, but get involved in a community, because that gets you both inspired and motivated. You want something to share every week. It gives you a deadline. All of these, it's a multiple thing all at once. Yeah. There's inspiration, motivation, and deadline all wrapped into one package. And on top of that, there's feedback that's involved with the community, and it allows you to engage with other art, et cetera. And sometimes people will be giving each other assignments. Hey, let's do this. So it does so much for you, right? It allows you to engage with other art, inspires you to try new things. It inspires you to collaborate with people. It gives you a routine. So it does so much. And you get to see where other people draw their inspirations, which can be inspiring for you as well. Write down ideas constantly. Write down bad ideas. Write them down. Write them down to get them out of your head. Don't dismiss them. Write them down. Get in the practice of writing them down. Thoughts, dreams, conversations, interesting street signs, graffiti. I have a list on my phone of names that sound like they come from a period romance novel, but all came from road signs, street signs that I saw on the interstate.
Yeah.
Mariana Wheatley. Those are 2 cities that are on the same exit signs somewhere, Mariana and Wheatley. And I thought Mariana Wheatley sounds like a character in a period romance. And, so I have I have a huge list and why? I don't know. What will I use them for? I don't know. Why do I remember Mariana Wheatley? Oliver Edgemore. Oliver Edgemore is in Wichita, Kansas. Oliver Avenue and Edgemore Avenue. They're in Wichita, Kansas. But you can drive on the interstate through Wichita and see Oliver Edgemore. And it's on one sign together. And Oliver Edgemore is a character from a period romance. It should be, right?
Right.
So write notes. You're going to have memories. You're going to have emotions. You're going to have experiences. You're going to have whatever. And I'm not necessarily saying journal. You don't have to, write down in huge detail, but sit down every day. And when something strikes you, when you see something interesting, jot it down, put it on your phone, whatever. When you have a free moment, and just as an exercise, sit down and try and think of what are my earliest memories. Then give yourself a qualifier. What are my earliest memories of school? What are my earliest memories in the movie theater? What are my earliest memories of watching television? What are my earliest memories of listening to music? What are my earliest memories of animals? What are my earliest memories of, and then go through, and then whatever. What do I remember from 7th grade? What do I remember from this class in 7th grade? Mr. Robinson's class in 7th grade, whatever. And will that ever help you? I don't know. I don't know. But here's the thing. You don't know. So get involved in a community, write everything down, and then set up a routine. Your routine, people who are beholden to their muses can only create when their muse is ready to create, right? Mm-hmm. I heard this interview with Tom Waits talking about recording an album, and he was in the studio, and all of the songs were ready except he was having problems with the last one. And he has a practice of externalizing his muse and talking to his muse. I don't believe in muses, by the way, but I like the conceit of it. It gives me a framework to work in. And he's like, you're going to have to get in the car. All the other kids are in the car. We're going to leave without you. Tom Waits. I will turn this studio around. You're not going to get to go if you don't get in the car. He sets office hours for his muse.
Yeah.
He'll be like having an idea while he's driving. He'll go, not right now. I got to have breakfast. Then I have a meeting, and then we're going to go back to the office and we can write this song then. But he'll talk out loud to his muse. And so I named my muse. Her name is Tanetti. And Tanetti and I have come to an agreement. Tanetti will mug me with songs when Tanetti is, when Tanetti is inspired, I will get mugged with songs, and I will get caught in the grip of those songs and have to write them right then, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, she shows up for office hours. And the only way to get your muse to show up for office hours is to show up yourself.
Yeah.
So set a routine, get involved in the community, and write stuff down, because you don't have, if you're just, when you put yourself on the spot, you'll blank. But if you pull out a notebook that you've written 100,000 nonsense phrases in that are seemingly unconnected, and you're like, dandelions in the playground in 7th grade. I remember dandelions on the playground in 7th grade. What does it have to do with anything? I know it doesn't have anything. I just literally just made that up. But now I'm going to write a song about dandelions on the playground in 7th grade.
Yeah. Cool.
And you can pick it and do it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Mikey. I really appreciate you coming on here. Hopefully it'll give me a little bit of a kick in the butt to try to do some more my own.
Hey, this
stuff.
was a long 20 minutes, man.
Shut up, man.
When we get talking.
I know. That's the thing, is it goes that way. And so when I do my Irish and Celtic Music Podcast interviews, I'm like usually about 20 to 30 minutes. But I have shorter questions, and we'll try to keep it a little bit more confined. But this, I wanted to let it run, see what happens. So
you can't put me in a box, man. I'm a landscape. I'm a symphony.
That box is going to make it easier for you to write a song, man.
That box is going to give me what I need to break out of the box.
Exactly. All right. So if you want to find out more about Mikey Mason, go to mikeymason.com. And you're also on Patreon, patreon.com/Mikey Mason. I know this because you and I have a podcast together.
We have a podcast? Sorry.
So stay tuned for more. I'll play some of Mikey's. Maybe I'll include a couple tracks here. What tracks do you want to include on that in the song?
Man. I'll shoot you kind of like. So sure. You have it.
Kind of like, and maybe one more.
All right. I'll shoot you kind of like, and I don't know. I'll surprise you.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Mikey. And back to the podcast.
The same dream I wake in a haze.
I hope you enjoyed that interview with Mikey Mason. If you did, go visit him, MikeyMason.com. He has a Patreon page. That's at patreon.com/Mikey Mason. And of course, we have a podcast together called In the Verse. And you can find that at fireflydrinkingsongs.com. I also have done a couple of interviews with him on the Pub Songs and Stories podcast. I interviewed him in 2018, and I interviewed him for the when we released Hero of Christmas together a few years back. So go check those out, and I hope you enjoyed this week's show. I will be back in a couple more weeks. I want to do one Christmas episode, and then we'll see when I release another one. But it won't be till January. Probably when I'm getting ready for a Kickstarter. Yes, I am working on a new Kickstarter. There is a pre-launch page that will be up very soon, but there is a link in the show notes. Again, you go to marcgunn.com/Kickstarter. It'll take you right over there. So check it out. And I hope you enjoyed that song Shades of Grey by Mikey Mason as well. Thank you so much for listening. Talk to you soon. Sláinte. This is Pub Songs and Stories. The episode was edited by Mitchell Peterson. You can follow and listen to the show on my Patreon or wherever you find podcasts. Sign up to my mailing list to learn more about songs featured in this podcast and discover where I'm performing. Clean energy isn't just good for the planet, it's good for your wallet. Solar and wind are now the cheapest power sources in history. But too many politicians would rather protect billionaires than help working families and musicians save on their bills. Real change starts when we stop allowing the ultra-rich to write our energy policy and run our government. Let's choose affordable, renewable power. Clean energy means lower costs and more freedom and a planet that can actually breathe. Join the pub and sing along at pubsong.com.